Alright, let's see. Looks like we got sound. YouTube to turn off the Okay. I think we're all set. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna try out this pixel map from the core. So let's first take a look. Point to the other class. Let's first take a look at Python version. Individual pixels instead of ranges. I see. Okay, you can give it... I see. You could give it 0 to 8, which would mean the pixels between 0 and 8, or I don't know, it's probably inclusive on one side or the other, or both. Or you could give it 0 and 8, and if this was true, then that means literally the pixel at index 0 and the pixel at index 8, none of the ones in between. Okay. But it's kind of like grouping pixels together into arbitrary groups, which you can then treat as a single pixel later on. You can set all of them together. So, for instance, if you had a row of them, you could turn them all on into the same color. If you had individual ones, you could turn the individual ones in your list all on at the same time to the same color. As part of an animation, this is all ultimately leads to being used inside the animations. It's not necessarily a thing that you would use without doing animations. I mean, I guess you could leave it static. Maybe it would help you depending on what you're trying to make, but it's inside the animation library, and all of its current uses that I know of are definitely related to animations. Okay, so this is essentially a C implementation inside the core of the same class, basically, the same object that allows you to do this. That's my understanding, at least. This is translation stuff. Make file as a new... Okay, this probably makes it so you can turn this on and off, I would guess. I think a bunch of these are things you can enable or disable at compile time. SAMD. Armicon. Probably some of them were too big. Probably had to set some to 0. Make it fit. Definitions, source patterns. CircuitPy definitions, I assume that means. Frequency, so it's doing the same thing with PixelBuff here. Interesting, this is just like adding up source code files. Okay. Oh, and then later on it's listing actual files too. Third module. Okay. What is this? This is CircuitPy definitions make. I don't recall ever seeing anything inside this file before. I don't think I've ever looked at a new class. Everything I've looked at was like added code to an existing class. CircuitPy PixelMap flags. Sure what that's doing. Gonna do with setting. It's something to do with setting that runtime, or not runtime, but build time flag for enabling it and disabling it, maybe. Still. So this is in PixelBuff, which did exist before. It looks like this is just no types. The types are elsewhere. Maybe this. Now extend pixel type. Type. Probably just this definition got moved to a named type thing. Or where that is defined, but that looks like what happened to me. This one too, a return sequence. And a return type. Sequence, pixel type. One is also still in PixelBuff. Maybe if make part of PixelBuff use the new PixelMap. Here's it looks like where these are defined. Return type is this, and then a return sequence, a tuple of those, or a union of those, or a union of tuples of lists of those. This way, this thing is not duplicated a bunch of times. I do like that. Do we have a color thing in CircuitPython typing? I do think we should probably have a color thing, like is it a protocol? We should have one where it can mean tuple of ints. Or floats with 0 to 1. Color based. Doesn't actually have floats on any of these ones though, and these are LEDs. It would be good to have a general color one that can be an int, a single int, which would represent a hex color, a tuple of 3 ints, which would represent RGB color, Maybe that's what that was. I guess floats, maybe not very many things do use floats, I suppose. Thinking floats like 0 to 1? Yeah, we don't really use that for too much, do we? So the single int, so maybe that's what that was, although it was inside of an LED thing. And I closed it. Maybe that could be used more broadly than just LEDs. We have colors for a lot of things, a lot of display widgets as well. It'd be nice to have a type protocol for this thing is a color without having to always put, you know, either int or tuple3 int. This is a fascinating thing to look over because it's implementing Python code which existed before. Like, it's very clear. It's a very clear example of C code that implements this Python code. And on down the line, too. Auto write. I have expand ranges. I guess this was internal as well, though. Set item, get item, set pixels. There's our brightness, fill, show. There's our auto write. In order, but nice example of being able to look back and forth. So the main thing we need to do to try this is we would build the core with this stuff in it. We would modify LED animation to use the one that's built into the core. Because, like, right now, for instance, Comet, all those animations that use it, this one doesn't actually. Maybe it's inside of animation. Is it inside of animation? Back out here. Init. Or an init inside of this. Animation. Let's import PixelMap. Doesn't. Let's find out where PixelMap gets used. Somewhere it must get used. And then basically we would want to change... Oh, interesting. We don't have low memory. This might affect performance. Well, it's definitely not working very well. Scanning files. You know, I got stuck on this yesterday, actually. Got stuck on this yesterday. Closed it and relaunched it, and it was okay after that. Fingers crossed, huh? I think it doesn't like to be... Yeah, see, this time it's like almost done already. I think it doesn't like to be opened and then immediately thrown into the background. I think is what I did yesterday. Guessing probably what I did today as well. Although it has freezed here at the end. And maybe it sped up a bit, but don't have the warning yet. File works. This one finished fast. I guess the thing is, though, there would be a lot of files because... Oh, I see, okay. Right. Yeah, let me unplug that. I plugged in an external drive, which is kind of large. And because it plugs into the same place where the CircuitPy drives show up, this is now indexing it. So yeah, let's unplug that. I'll be back in a minute. I guess I could do it from here. Yeah. Let's doesn't do that. Okay. Okay. Don't need that. That will take it forever to scan because it's like a terabyte drive. Old backups and stuff. Let's see. Can I see it? Definitely unplugged now. There we go. Oop. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. Plug in the CircuitPython. And flip the switch, because I flipped the switch. Right, I only flipped the switch. So what I did when I said plug in the CircuitPython, turns out actually was unplug the CircuitPython. Well, that is bright. Let's fix the brightness on that down a bit. It's not quite. So find usages of PixelMap. Used in the helpers, pixel wing vertical, pixel wing horizontal, and it's used in grid. At grid, it's used for pixel grid. Code. What if you're not using grid though? I guess you use, maybe used when you are using grid only? Animation doesn't import anything. Or a pixel map. And then the animation comment. This is the example. This one imports animation and colors, and that's it. Grid. So I think maybe this is used for the grid ones. Potentially only. Or from helper, the other usages were the vertical and the horizontal. Strip grid map? No, I don't think that was it. Subset. This extends pixel map. Interesting, that didn't show up as one of our usages. Nothing found. Where was the oh, it's used in 2 of the examples. Pixel wing. Okay. So we would basically then, in the example, let's go to the code. In this example, we would change the import well, okay, we'd also have to change the way it's coded slightly because this is importing helper and then you're doing helper dot. So we would kind of shift it to be like from LED animation dot helper import PixelMap, but then further we would change that and just say, I guess, import PixelMap, or how is it in the core? I suppose it's in. Where do we import it from? Adafruit PixelMap. Shared binding. So it'd be like from Adafruit PixelMap import PixelMap. Okay. Let's try to make a build. I'm already on the right branch because I found it with GH and did a checkout. I did that, I think, before I started because I wanted to pull. It takes a minute to pull, so did that stuff as well. We want to build, I guess we will, so this did say Atmel, is it turned off? It's the easiest thing for me to do here, so might need to go and get, I do have a pixel wing, the feather wing pixel thing. It's a grid of, I don't know, I think 8x4. I think it's for that example. I also have a Neo trellis right here though. Maybe we can just use it, since it's also an 8x4 grid. It's harder to put new versions onto because its reset button is hidden. Not hidden, but recessed. Stylus around here at one point. Where'd that ran off to? Not sure I have anything pokey enough. Okay, this lets me push the button. So we'll try on this. So let's plug the funhouse. But then it did show something. Didn't it show something was disabled in the Atmel? Well, we could try to make a build with it enabled if we have to. Oh, is that disabled? I don't know what, maybe question mark equals? I'm not sure what that does. I'd have even looked that up one day, but I don't recall. So we'll try to make the build. I am going to have to get a USB cable, because I only, surprisingly enough to myself, I'm actually down to only a C cable on my desk right now. Let me grab a micro for the Neo trellis. Okay. No telling what's on this. 8003, it's actually pretty close to up to date, but we'll end up loading this version if we get the build. So let's go cd ports atmel ls. Is it boards or devices? So I think it's probably this. Oh, I didn't do J. Should have done J4 or J8 or something. The question is, would it be faster to just let it finish or cancel and try again? Okay. What was that? 47 seconds. So then I'll take a backup of this. I'm to be in the habit right now of taking backups before I load CircuitPython, just because I know some of the updates were doing the flash or something. Well, I guess I didn't. Pressing a button pauses the animation. Not sure what this was. This must have been some kind of example for integrating buttons with animations, or doing one step at a time. Changing animations with a button. Just the animations I used were solid, which are not just very animaty. Guess we could keep that. That's kind of maybe a thing we use again. Animation changer. So in the examples, let's get, I don't know what I did to comment. Oh, there is an example of just PixelMap by itself as well, actually. E6? Maybe we should do that one. What was the looking at before though? LED? Oh, it is inside this one. Okay, fair enough. I just hadn't looked at the name before. I don't know what the pin will be. Probably not D6. Oh. Oh? Pixel. Pixel power. Okay. quite a few. Ah, there we go. That's where we started, I think. Though I maybe didn't get the camera on there quick enough. Okay, those are all running. So then basically we would want to go... Well, for one thing, we should update LED animation library because no idea when the last time, like when that would have been installed on this device. I guess whenever we did this, the sequence thing that was there before, maybe? Okay, back on there, and it's running again. So then I'm gonna go in Helper and comment out PixelMap. That's gonna break a bunch of other stuff, isn't it? Like this is gonna try to extend it, which is not gonna work. Well, I don't think we saw usages of that, so maybe we just comment that out as well. And then that might get us to the point where it's broken for the actual reason that we want to see, which is exactly right here. We don't have a pixel map. Tried to import it, but we couldn't find it. So then I will switch this around and go helper pixel map, which is of course not there anymore, but then on our code here, we'll do it this way. Oh, I see. Okay, we'll have to get this too then. Comma. So this can't import because we took it out of there. That's fine. We do still need that. What I'll do is just comment this one, duplicate it, remove that. Real question is, does this use PixelMap? No, doesn't look like it. Okay. So let's go back to REPL. Oh, we never did install. Never did install. Okay, let's save this. It won't run still because it doesn't have this to import from anywhere. Let's go to bootloader. Just using the keys from the Oh, that is not where the button is at. Oh, I missed it. Slow on that one a couple of times. Got it this time though. So it should still fail for the same reason because we didn't actually change where it's importing from. But we should be on the new version now, and we should be able to maybe go like from import, well, I didn't even do from, but let's just do import Adafruit pixel map. And then that exists, and it should have pixel map capital on it. Whoa. Yeah. So it's definitely turned on in this build. So we can just go from following errors. Unable to create backup file? Hmm. I don't know. It's saved eventually anyway, it seems like. PixelMap is not defined. Oh. Didn't actually. Well. Something's wrong, because this says 34, but it's actually on 35. And the one extra line is this one, which it must not have. So we're doing this fun thing again, where the IDE is reporting code that's not accurate. It's not very cool. Cannot save CodePy, unable to create backup file. There's lots of free space. Nothing to do with free space. There is a code tilde? Maybe code tilde got messed up? What? Can't delete it. Can't delete it? Can I not delete it? Read only. Okay. We did maybe run into the thing where it messed up the file system? Wait, do we have a boot pie? We don't have a boot pie, do we? No. Yeah, seems like our drive is read-only though. Let's unplug it. Close this. Refresh this, plug it back in. If it's actually read-only, or if it was just messed up this time or not. This probably does not actually have our new import. Yeah. Okay. It did save fine this time. I think maybe we just had a wonky connection before, maybe, or something. I don't know. Or not. So I saved the first time and it didn't give me this. So I clicked revert and it kept this. That's still not there. This isn't, I think this is not in the file. This is not there. Okay, probably we will just do reset file system. Yeah, it's not actually there. I don't know why. I don't like that. I don't know why it's showing me files that are wrong. I wish it would not. I mean, I feel like it's probably trying to help me out so that I don't lose whatever changes I put but couldn't be saved. I don't like it though. Should not. Should show me what's in the file. Unplug again. Plug back in. That succeeded. That succeeded. No. I have the wrong stuff here. Still not actually in the file. I don't. Why though? It's the second change from inside a PyCharm. Everything works until the second change inside a PyCharm. And then it's stuck. And you can't change anything else after that. Yeah, this has no error message, but it's not succeeding. I just did save and it's not doing anything. Okay. That's odd. Unplug that. Close this. Let's just close that all the way. Now let's plug this in. Is there a code tilde? Should we just delete code tilde? Like we probably just delete this. Applications. Output error. Can't cat it. Probably can't delete it then, can we? You don't have sufficient permission. Interesting. I have permission to delete it. Read-only file system. Already read-only. Yeah, this is such a strange situation because I've never had it where like I've only seen it where, like, I have run into this problem before where the file system becomes messed up. I'll call it corrupted for lack of knowing what's actually wrong with it. Something in the file system is messed up though, it can't work normally. I have seen it do this thing where it's like, nope, it's read-only now, you can't save files to it. But we created these and we edited what was inside of them. So it's not just like you can't save files and that's it, right? It's like you can save files until you do the wrong thing, which appears to be, I guess, mess with this. And then once you mess with this, it's now read-only. But like right now, it's not. Right now it is already, okay. But we did just change one of them? We did just add another line to this. But we can't do it again. Can do it again. We can edit that file, but we can't make a new one. Yeah, I don't know. This is super weird. I'm gonna try one more thing, which is unplug and replug again. Delete that CodePy tilde with terminal and sudo first before doing anything else besides ls. That file's gone now. So do we want to just try using PyCharm? I want to keep experimenting with other stuff. Ultimately, I want to get back to PyCharm, really, like. And if we get any more errors like that, then I will just reset file system. Because I assume if we get anything more, then my guess is that the thing itself is the problem and not the IDE, although the IDE might have been the thing that triggered it, I guess. Because it seems like that tilde file somehow messed it up. Whoa, buddy. You cannot just lie there under my... like that. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey. No? Okay. Got time for a minute here. Nope, okay. We got it right away. So close this, close this. Well, let's go. Let's just, I think we should not have PyCharm open while we reset. This one doesn't matter. This one's not trying to do anything with the drive, I think. I mean, I should have a backup, right? Permission. What is it? Storage? Is it reset or format? Now I'm second guessing myself, I don't know. It's reset file system. Sounds right in my head, but erase file system. Good thing I checked. Did. Think. I have no idea. Is that on my board? My board has 8 megs. That's quite a lot. On boards that support dual bank. Huh. I've never done that before. I'll go without it. Disconnected. Connected. Seems like you maybe don't need to call reset anymore. And disconnected, reconnected came up, and now it just has the hello world file only. So we'll open back up here. Then I'll copy stuff from this into it. If we don't need that folder with the dot stuff. Should have gone to REPL maybe before I pasted, because now it's trying to reset probably. Well, I guess not actually though, right? Because it's sitting here. It doesn't actually reset, I think, when it gets to here. Should have not done it inside PyCharm because it doesn't give me sure, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't give me status. No way to know how far along it is. If I would have done it in a file browser, it'd be a little bit easier to tell. Okay. We're back again to the one without PixelMap. Saved that, and it's saved. Well, it does rerun itself, and it did print this, so we're definitely getting new stuff. We definitely failed for that. I'm gonna close this and get it inside of here. Has no vertical lines. And ranges set pixels, set item, get item. Length, brightness, fill. Maybe I've gone about this wrong. Maybe we shouldn't be method. Maybe we shouldn't be, oops. Maybe we're testing this the wrong way, basically. Maybe we should be not changing the import in our example code. but instead changing the import, changing the thing that gets extended inside of the Python layer of PixelMap. Fill indices. Subscript. Area array. Go. Think so vertical lines generate a pixel map of horizontal lines on a strip arranged in a grid. It's almost like a different constructor. It's almost like a generator method or whatever. Like you call this to make a new instance of the class. Kind of like you would the constructor. X. Okay, let's try a different route. What if we didn't... Let's not do this. Okay, so then here, let's say we still have this. Does it... Could we extend? If this one extended that one, is that how this is meant to run? Keyword arguments given in vertical lines. 27. Individual pixels? Only keyword argument given is individual pixels. This one not have that? Looks like it doesn't do the... Doesn't have the pixel, is it pixel only or whatever? Individual pixels? It doesn't, it looks like it doesn't have the individual pixels option. So it can't really be used as a drop-in replacement for this one yet. It doesn't have all the same functionality. But let's try to... Let's try to see if we can use it somehow. Let's try to figure out the way to test it for now. I think if we... I mean, this is basically creating... This is calling vertical lines and horizontal lines, which is basically just creating a pixel map. Only change in this is just vertical lines instead of horizontal lines. Let's 8x4, horizontal strip grid map, alternating false. Okay. How's it going, C. Grover? Early Monday stream, yes. Indeed. It's over here. I'm trying to think how we can do this. I think what we can try to do is get rid of one of these What if we just do that? Well, yeah, we need to get rid of this. Okay, now it's running, but it will be... One or the other won't work. I don't know what's horizontal and what's vertical, so that looks like it's working fine. Then this one is not. This one would have been 4 at a time, but instead it was only a single. Okay. So maybe we can import the new one. I guess let's actually just go import. Actually need to go back like this kind of. And then here we're not going to do this. Instead we're going to go pixels, and then it's indices. Indices, which is a tuple of ints and tuples that contain ints. So let's just try like well, we could look inside vertical lines. What's vertical lines actually doing? Grid map. A lot of the magic is probably in the grid map though. Mapping. Let's print mapping. And turn this back on so it uses it. Line 40. Oh, right. And then, yeah, we got a text here. So let's, I guess, let's just, can we do that by itself? We're better off with tuples. Why so many individual imports? There's got to be a better way. I'm not sure what you mean. Like, why does this import from its own file like this? If that's what you mean, I think it's intentional because they want the animations in separate files. That way, if you're only going to use the chase animation, you don't have to import the comet animation or rainbow comet or anything, basically. The library is very modular because it's intended to run even on like Circuit Playground Express and other, potentially even like Trinket, if you want to use only one animation or something and you don't have a lot of pixels. It's intended to run on like the smallest of things, so every little bit of RAM you can save by not importing stuff you're not using, it was elected to be written that way. So if that's what you mean, I think that's the reason why. So we could probably just pass this with lists, I think. I don't think we actually need to change them to tuples, although it might be better to change them to tuples. Oh, nope, I was wrong. It must be a tuple, in fact. Okay, so let's go... Okay. Nice. Yeah, that's working. This is what it did the first time. I mean, what it looked like the first time. Okay, and that's the beginning of the loop. It's just up to you to combine them. If you want a switch to run them all, saying it's a lot of imports. Yeah, I mean, you could presumably you could just import this, and then every time you use it in your code, you could say LED animation.animation.commit or whatever one you're using, and then you could have just the one. But now you're importing like stuff that you might not use. But if you value the lines of code, if you value the fewer lines of code over the fewer stuff in RAM, then you could import it that way, and you wouldn't. I think you could have only just one import line, but your code would be more verbose too, because you'd have to, like, every time you use a thing, you'd have to be like full name dot package dot minor name or whatever. Okay, so this does work. It seems functionally identical. The main difference is it does not have the horizontal lines and the vertical lines. If we wanted to, we could print the value in the horizontal lines one. Test that one also. Maybe we should do that. Let's do that. Let's just grab our print mapping, put it down here. Could probably figure it out by looking at the first one, but it's way quicker to copy it. Could use init perhaps, but that increases memory too. Could use an init underscore init. This is actually pretty straightforward. These are just, this one is just lists of 8, and then this one was lists of 4, where each index is every 8th one or whatever. Right. I don't know why I erased it. I could call the tuple constructor, maybe? And there's still lists inside there, I guess. Okay, what was that? I don't know what Control T does. Hopefully it's nothing too bad. S2 kind of spoiled me. Yeah, I haven't thought about running out of RAM for a while. Yeah, I'll definitely agree with you there. Get rid of that. But we're reassigning this. We don't really need to be doing that. Let's make sure this runs still. And I guess make sure it works since we changed the horizontal one also. It's looking good. What, I don't want to spend too much time messing with this, but Just out of curiosity, what is it gonna look like if we did... So it'll take a while, won't it? I mean, I guess there's only 32 of them. 18, so then 27, so I'm kind of going like... I guess we're going too far though, aren't we? 27... No, we can... Well, we would just... Would we wrap back around, I guess? Yeah, let's wrap back around, so then... So let's say, yeah, 4... 13... 22... 31... I'm gonna run it like that so I can see what the first frame looks like. This would be on the horizontal one, which will come next. Okay, I saw it for one frame. It does look pretty cool. Does it look cool enough to try and do the rest of the rows that way? Actually, sure. What would we just... How we would do it, I guess we would just go 17 here. 26. That's not quite right, is it? Yes, it is. Then we get weird because this would have to wrap or something and go far enough. Yeah, okay, I don't know the right pattern to figure out the for loop to do this for us instead of trying to do it by hand. I was thinking it'd be cool though to try to do like, what if you had diagonal groups instead of lines? I thought that might look neat. And based on the first frame, I do think it would look neat, but I also don't want to sit here and just guess and check the numbers the whole way through. We could definitely write a for loop that would set them up that way. Interestingly, I mean, basically that's what vertical lines and horizontal lines are. They just are hard-coded to make straight lines. You could probably tweak the code inside of here very minorly and end up with the diagonal line like I was headed towards. It's interesting that both of these take a grid map. Feels like... I haven't looked at the logic inside, I guess that's part of my... Maybe why I don't quite understand it. It feels odd that there are two different functions, but the two different functions also take a grid map. It feels like it should either be one function, or it shouldn't need a grid map, but I don't actually know what's inside the grid map when you start. I'd have to print that out and see. Vertical string grid map. Horizontal lines. Yeah, there's probably a reason why you need both two different functions and to pass in a grid map. There's probably a reason. Back to our code. Nope, not that one. This one. I'm gonna cut out pretty much anything non-essential, because I'm gonna basically post this on VR. Did I get the right browser? spot. Go. Grid map tuple patterns look like list slices. In some cases, in this case, for sure, they are basically just slices, 0 to 7, 8 to 15, 16 to whatever. In the vertical one, yeah, vertical, they are not slices, but instead, you know, well, they represent the vertical columns, I guess. So they're every 8, 0, 8, 16, 24. That way they make a vertical. Which there's probably, what is that? That's a range with a counting thing, right? It's a range with that's counting by 8 instead of 1, maybe? Inside of an outer range or something? I feel like we are back to max brightness. Is my face glowing rainbows? No, not really. Okay. Funny. I feel like our brightness is back up. Oh yeah, that is much nicer on my eyes. You can't really tell a difference honestly in the camera. Maybe a little bit. It's not quite as glowy, but that is a lot less distracting and much nicer on my eyes. Vertical tuples are slices too, with a different matching increment. Marching increment? Can you do that in a slice? Wait a minute. Can you do a slice but have a count by? Like you can with range? Marching increment? Or do you just mean the concept, or is there an actual syntax to do that? Yes. Step, you can just put, it works like the same as range? What? Let's go 8, and then let's go step 2. Is it colon? Huh. I had no idea that was possible. That's actually really funny. That's amazing. The code probably does that, doesn't it? I looked at the code. I like literally looked at the code earlier, but not very closely. It probably does that, doesn't it? No, it does. It uses range. Well, this is horizontal, though. That's the easy one. Let's look at vertical. That would be the one with... Wait, that's the wrong thing. Where's vertical? There we go. It also uses range. Doesn't use range with a step though, right? I'm surprised it doesn't have a step. It's interesting. Huh. Thank you for the heads up, by the way. I did not know at all this syntax existed. I don't think I've ever seen a slice with a second colon. I have seen ones with 2 numbers and a colon. I've seen ones with 1 number and a colon. I don't think I have ever seen one with 2 numbers. I mean, 2 colons, rather. That is insane. There's so many just little things inside the language. And I tested that in the REPL too, so we definitely have that in CircuitPython. Craziness. Okay. Well, we've got our minds blown and learned something new for the day. Let's see, back where we were here. So they feel like variations of the initializer. Used it in the thermal camera a bunch. Going to create an issue to fully flesh out slice objects. Oh, nice. Yeah, that would be pretty cool to have slices on a group, for instance. Yeah, you can access by index, but I think not. I don't think slices do work. Palettes would be kind of cool as well. Wait a minute, so we're not using the individual pixels. These should be slices. Does this work the same if we cut out all of these? I think it does. That's my understanding. I'm in the REPL, aren't I? So these would be the big rows. Let's see if the big rows work. So one thing I'll say, no, they're not working because these middle ones were not on. Yeah. Not working. Okay, so indices, which is just indexes. So you do need to do all of them on this one. It doesn't do the ranges like the Python one does. Okay. So what we could do though is the Python implementation of PixelMap could change to extend the core implementation and then just I think there would only need to be a few tweaks in order to make it actually work. You could have the Python implementation could have individual pixels true and could have these helper functions, but this could be creating an instance of the core class. Can't do 0.7. Oh, you probably could do that. That I think you could probably. Well, it does want tuples, not lists. Will it be mad if this is a list? Would it be inside? Or 7. The IDE does not like this one. Valid syntax. It could maybe do like range. Be tuple or int. I think the thing is that range doesn't make a tuple. There we go. That one does work. Good and drove nicely. So then you could similarly do it here where you would go like range 8, 16. Yeah. Trying to think, how can the two coexist? Like, can the Python version exist and do the parts that are not in the core version, like the individual pixels? And then the helper methods like vertical lines? sizes. Okay. We got everything captured there. All right. I think I am gonna probably head out for a bit now. Get something to snack on. Get my meeting docs filled in. I don't think I filled in anything this week for the meeting, so I need to do that. And also get all the recording stuff switched over now to record a backup of the meeting. Although I did I do last week's meeting in this computer? I think I did, so hopefully it's not too much stuff. I'm finding that this new computer, I don't have, I guess it doesn't matter for the meeting because we don't do a camera portion of the meeting, but on this new computer, what I've found is that OBS doesn't like the camera when it first boots up. On the old computer, I also had this problem, but what I would do is switch from the camera that I actually use to the built-in camera on the laptop. I don't use for anything because the laptop is closed. It can't see anything. I would switch to that. It would be black because it's closed. I would switch back and then it would work okay, generally. On the new one, I only have one camera, but I still have the problem where when it first boots up, it doesn't recognize the camera. So and I don't have anything to switch to because there is no other camera. Which makes it a bit harder to fix it, because the only way I know how to fix it is switch to a different camera and then back. Anyway, though, that's a problem for me to try to figure out on this computer. But I'm gonna head out, get some snackage going on, and get ready for the meeting here in a couple hours. Probably work on some other PR reviews and stuff as well until then. But thanks for hanging out. Thank you for the tip on the slices. Yeah, I totally did not know that. So that's my Python syntax of the day that I learned, was slices have a counter thing, which is actually pretty helpful. Now I'm thinking of all kinds of ways to use that. So that's cool. Thank you for that heads up. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you all later. Hope everybody has a good day. See you later on at the meeting if you're going to be there. Otherwise, till next time. Thanks.